Hey everyone, I'm here at Tony's fish room that he just set up.
Yep, freshly set up.
And boy howdy, there's a lot of fish tanks. That's not even all of them. And he's got all of this too. And there's even more in the other room. But why don't you walk us through what you got going on here, man?
Sure, so I have a total of 18 tanks. Most of them are out here in the garage. I have a 75-gallon double rack set up currently. I have my wife's axolotls on the bottom. Blood parrot hybrid with a Texas cichlid flower horn. There's a featherfin squeaker in here and a wild-caught Oscar. Moving over to the 16.5 gallons, these are all 33 longs with center dividers that I went through and refurbished. I scraped the paint off, repainted them repainted them black from blue. And they're all drilled already. I've got a drain system piped in the back, which we could show you that later. But there's a total of 12 tanks. 7 of them don't have anything in them right now. The top 4 and bottom 3 are all empty. But in here I have a couple German rams, German blue rams. Those were also wild caught.
And how are they acclimating so far, being wild? And I mean, I used to keep wild fish too, and sometimes they're not the easiest thing.
No, yeah, my whole thing is I wanted to breed the rams, and I wanted to start with a wild line so I'd have a fresh, bloodline that would be real strong that I could keep going for a while. So far, I ordered 6. I only got 3, and one of them was pretty sickly, and he didn't make it. But the other 2 have been eating. In that order, I also got some Oxalis in the tank below. We have 10 of those.
Good old autos.
Yep.
And you got them with a bunch of ghost shrimp, I see.
Yep, I had to get ghost shrimp because for the other tank you'll see in a minute, he's still on live food, so I have to feed him something live, so I got ghost shrimp. But the Oxalis, like you can see that one on the sponge filter, he's got a fat stomach, so they were well fed before they came in. It should be a pretty good group. I got some cucumber I boiled last night in there, hopefully to get them eaten. Hasn't enticed them yet, though.
I imagine they're still acclimating a little bit. You said you had them for how long?
I got them... When did I get them? I got them on Thursday, yeah.
And there's a good chance the autos are probably wild, too, because most autos are still gotten from...
From the wild, yeah, not tank bred.
Yeah, we're hoping to change that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But they didn't list it whether it was or not, so that's all I can tell you. And this is my wolffish. I love this guy. What an awesome looking fish.
Just make sure not to build anything in there out of straw or wood. Just a little huff and puff and blow that thing down. Hey, buddy. Oh, he just loves the camera.
Yeah, normally he's sitting on the bottom, ambush predator, waiting for something to come to him.
He is such a chill fish.
But at least while they're young, they're a little personable.
I mean, he's just looking at us like, hey, what's going on, my dude?
Yep. He's associated with motion in front of the tank is feeding.
And then how's he been eating?
He's been eating great on the live food. I tried to give him frozen last night, and he pecked at it. So I'm thinking maybe if I starve him for a couple days, he'll probably take to it.
Yeah, I suppose that happens a lot where they're used to whatever diet they were on before and changing it. They're just so picky at first.
Yep.
You have to coax them in and be like, hey, you gotta eat this. Just like our parents, you're not,
exactly.
If you don't eat this dinner, you're not eating anything at all.
Exactly, yeah. That's the best way I've always found to get somebody to eat pellets, like my bowfin, which we'll see later. I've got that. He'll take anything now. I got him off live food.
And then, of course, we can't neglect my favorite type of fish. It's the poofler fish.
There's the 3 pigs for the wolf. We've got 3 green spotted puffers. They're currently in brackish water. The salinity, I believe, is 1.01. I have to double check that, but I matched what the fish store had going on just to make sure they transitioned as easily as possible.
Well, that's a good idea. I've never done anything brackish. Although, I think with brackish or anything with salinity, keeping the water topped off for that the consistent salinity is going to be one of those things.
Yeah.
From evaporation.
Absolutely.
So,
So yeah, I tested the bag water first with my refractometer, and then I matched this tank to it while they were floating. Another interesting thing you'll see is about the heaters here. So I put the heaters on the divider, and the heat transmits from one tank to the other. I lose about 5 degrees. So where this tank will be 79 degrees, the tank next to it will be 74 degrees.
Oh, okay, I see. This is technically one tank, but you siliconed in a divider piece.
Yes, there's a glass divider. And actually on the subject of that, for the wolffish tank, you'll see that I put a piece of black acrylic and super glued it to that because he was watching the rams and taking swipes at the rams.
Oh, that's...
So yeah.
That's not a bad idea, honestly, yeah.
Yeah, so this is marine grade plastic. It's what they make cutting boards out of. So
Gotcha. Interesting.
it was really cheap. It was $20 for a 2 foot by 4 foot sheet.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so I've got that makes enough to do dividers for all of them if I need to.
And then for the lights, you're just using good old shop lights.
Yeah, these are LED shop lights, 47 inches. They were 3,600 lumens, 5,000 Kelvin, and I got them at Menards for $14 a piece.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all, and it looks good.
Yep.
For like a non-dedicated sort of lighting setup, this is... I mean, and then again, a lot of people with these big fish rooms do go this route, and it does make sense.
Yeah, it's economical, and LED, it uses a whole lot of electricity, so I'm able to get away with doing crazy looking things like all these circuit breakers I have wired together. These are just lights, and I added up all the wattage for the lights, and I was under 800, I believe. And it plugs into that Amazon Smart Plug, so I can set a timer, and anytime I want with my phone, I can turn the lights on and off.
Yeah, that was a good idea, and then... Of course, you integrated a GFCI, ground fault interface circuit, I believe it's called.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to have something so that if a light were to fall in the water, or, I don't know, a heater broke or something, that would pop. A second layer of safety, not rely on my mains breaker.
Yeah, because I've definitely had heaters fail on me, like, catastrophically, like, actually blow up in my tank.
I had the same thing happen in my 125, we'll see. There might still be a little bit of a scorch mark left there from... when a heater went off in there, and it was a Marineland Stealth or something Stealth, and there was a recall put out on those heaters.
Mine was an Aqueon Pro, but I got to admit, I got to hand it to Aqueon. Mm-hmm. They have awesome customer service. Every time I've had a failed heater, they've sent a brand new one right away, no hassle whatsoever. They do a good job. And then, of course, you've done something that I probably should do at some point with your air pumps, because you're running a ton of sponge filters.
Yes.
And I run sponge filters too, although mine are a little different, but the same concept. And you've got a linear air pump.
Yeah, that's the LH26, I believe it is, by Gemco. And I wired it up. I got hard PVC line. It's all just friction fit, and I haven't had any problems. I didn't bother gluing it. And I've got the brass valves that he sells there. You drill a hole, thread them in. Everything's been working great. And you can see how the PVC runs, and I ran it up here matching the wall just to hide it as best as I could.
Oh yeah, man, I didn't even see that.
The other idea is, though, when I add more tanks down here, because I want to get another 275s, is I'm just going to turn that elbow and continue my PVC down and back across again.
It's not a bad idea, because that... How many gallons per hour of... Well, cubic feet per minute, I should say.
I'm not sure. We could look that up later. But
because that thing pumps out a lot more than my AP300.
Yeah, I can still run more tanks off this. Currently we have 12, 13, 14, 15 sponge filters running off it, and I have a brine shrimp hatchery.
Oh yeah, speaking of, I've never actually done anything with brine shrimp. So this is a little clever system you got going here, just using a Fanta 2-liter.
Yeah.
Don't you want a Fanta?
Exactly, and when they get orange when they hatch.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. It's orange Fanta with orange brine shrimp. Just don't drink it by accident.
Right. And so when I want to harvest this, I can go up here, turn off the air valve, and I'll shut off this air, and that will subsequently let the liquid flow down into the gang valve I have here, which all of them are currently shut off. So I'll open this one and I'll get a drain of brine shrimp out, close it, and then I can turn the air back on.
Oh, that's a great idea. I don't know if I have anything that'll eat brine shrimp. I mainly have I mainly have shrimp and crayfish.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you ever get any baby fish going or guppies or something, I'm sure they'd love it.
Oh yeah, I used to have guppies, but I moved on to some more interesting things.
Absolutely.
So what you got? I know you got a yo-yo loach? Or,
Yep.
Yeah, yo-yo
You can
loach.
tell just by reading the side of his body, because it says yo 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 on him.
Hey, buddy.
So in there is also 2 young Jack Dempseys that I'm raising up. Those are eventually going to move to the lower 75.
Yeah, they're hiding right now, aren't they?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's one sticking out of the rock there.
there he is.
They haven't been there for, it's probably been 2 weeks now, so they're getting over their sulking. If you were anywhere near that, close to him before, he would have just ran off. But we could feed those guys too. They will eat anything I throw at them.
Well, Jack Dempsey's named after that one boxer.
Absolutely. I raised the Jack Dempsey for 7 years, beautiful fish, and when it died, I got out of the hobby, and then
Yeah, I know that feeling, like a special fish, and then he just kind of like gets you down for a little bit. I remember
Absolutely.
when my first fish passed away, I held a little funeral at a waterfall, and it was a little beta. And I put him on the moss at the waterfall because he'd always chill out on the moss ball. Since then, I just could never bring myself to get another beta fish. He was my fish bro.
Right, right.
But
Another feeling. The other one, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but he's on the other side of those leaves of the fake plant there.
I don't
He's
think I can see him
above
from
the heater. You might get a little glimpse of him right there.
Oh, there he is.
When we feed them, they get much more brave. They'll be running around.
I see you hiding there, little guy. That's fun.
Yep. So they had great coloring when I picked them up. Jack Dempseys have the ability to change color. When they're stressed, they go to a really light color. When they're really excited, they get a really dark color. So right now, they haven't colored up as much as they could have. But as they settle in, it'll come back.
Oh yeah, and it's like that with a lot of creatures, honestly. It's just stress in general, just, fish,
Absolutely.
shrimp, crayfish even. They'll definitely get their color in.
Yep, once they're more settled, they're eating good. Which they have been so far.
And then, your wife's oxalis.
Yeah, if you can get a good look at those. The large one up there up front had a fungus growing on its gills a couple, 6 days ago.
I don't know.
And I gave him some saltwater baths and cleared it up, so luckily he's completely back to health and never stopped eating. They're still eating strong. I haven't employed your trick yet of using a tube, but I want to.
Oh yeah.
Get one.
I call it targeted feeding because for creatures that don't move,
Absolutely.
and then like a big tank, it's just like, all right, drop the pellets right next to them.
Yeah.
A good way to ensure it gets right next to them.
Yeah, these guys, they have to be kept in cold water. The water's like 63 degrees in there. So I have to stick my arm 2 feet down, and you have to drop the pellet right in front of their nose, or else they will not get it.
Yeah, some creatures are just a little lazy.
Yep. So I've been feeding them mostly this axolotl feed, and bloodworms as well.
All right, rock on. And then you got a flower horn, right?
Yes, this is a flower horn mixed with a blood parrotfish. It was a Texas cichlid flower horn.
This is the one we got at the auction, right?
Yeah, we got them for $32, and currently on Predatory Fin's website, they are selling what looks like the exact same cichlid for $250.
Whoa, snap! You must have got a good deal if that's really the case.
Yeah, and I got in contact with the breeder. He lives in Aurora. He's got 60 more of them.
Whoa.
So I think we're going to go give him a visit sometime. And maybe pick up a buddy for him.
I see you're trying to waterlog some driftwood.
Yeah, I bought that nice piece of driftwood on slate, ready to sink. It didn't sink.
They never do.
No.
With my big driftwood, I got a gigantic pot and boiled it for like a few hours, and it waterlogged a lot quicker then. It still took forever, and my kitchen smelled awful.
In that piece and the one in my big tank, which we'll show later, I just ran it over as hot of water as I could in the slop sink because I didn't have a pot, and that helps a little. It's nowhere near as good as boiling it, but
yeah, it'll take probably like 2 weeks to waterlog if it's anything like mine.
Absolutely.
But once it's there,
Yep.
it's great to have. Like certain fish just absolutely need some driftwood. Speaking of, the Plecos from the auction.
Oh yeah, those are in 55 too. They really are excellent hiders, though.
Yeah, plecos are as plecos do.
They're real small. They're standard bristle nose. And they could be underneath the rock or in the plant. It's really anyone's guess. But we'll keep an eye out, and if we catch one out, we'll get a picture of one of those.
I'm sure they're there somewhere.
In the 75, though, too, we have this Oscar, which is really cool. He's a wild-caught Oscar. He's acting really weird. Normally when an Oscar sulks, it'll take that angle, but it sits on the bed of the tank. He's not sitting on the bed of the tank. He's moving around. He's mainly using his side fins there to propel himself and not his, his tail fin. But he is eating for me. I'll drop one pellet in, let him eat it, chew it up, and I'll drop another, he'll eat it. So I don't know if there's something wrong with him or...
It could be a swim bladder thing.
It could be, but every Oscar I've always had always sulked. So I'm wondering if this is just his weird way of sulking.
It's possible. I don't know enough about that particular species to say one way or another.
Sure.
If it is something like a swim bladder related, something high in fiber,
Yeah.
definitely usually helps out.
Yeah, I'm feeding Extreme Aquatics and Aquacarium, which is a nice brand. That's what that breeder recommended for that blood parrot cichlid. And it's yourfishstuff.com. And if you got a lot of fish, it's good cheap food from what he tells me. So I'm just starting to play with it. I don't know, for my own sake. But the other item we got at the auction was this striped longfin Rafi.
Oh yeah, I remember. Wasn't this guy in the cheese doodle bucket?
Yes, he was. So his name is Chester. He's spotted,
Oh,
kind of like a leopard
I
or a
remember
cheetah.
that. Yeah, because it was in a cheetah. Yeah, Chester the cheetah. I like that. I like that. Anyone who knows me knows I love fun names like that.
Yeah. And he is a featherfin squeaker cat.
Wonder if wolffish and catfish have that same sort
Yeah.
of situation with cats and dogs.
But yeah, he has a really tall dorsal fin when he's out moving around. He has it on display. It's like a big flag that sticks up. So he's still not eating either. I got the blood parrot to eat one pellet. I haven't gotten the squeaker catfish to eat yet. So I tried to contact that breeder to find out what he was feeding, but the phone number they gave me wasn't active. So
Oh,
I tried bloodworms so far. I've tried pellets. I tried algae wafer. You can see some of the remnants from me feeding him, and he hasn't been taking it. So I have to do a small water change almost every day to get rid of the excess food. But
there's little bits. You might want to think about getting one of those, like that Eheim electric gravel vac that I got.
Yeah.
Because those things do awesome at removing excess gunk.
Yeah, that would
Because
be
you can
perfect.
tell like right around here, some of the food it gets a little moldy, which is so typical for any sort of aquarium food that just gets left out, just gets a tiny bit moldy. I deal with that all the time with the frozen peas that I feed the crayfish. If it's in there for more than 24 hours, it gets a chunk of mold around it, and then just battery-powered gravel vac and just sucks it right up.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look into one of those.
Yeah, if you do get one, definitely get some rechargeable batteries for them because
Sure.
they definitely suck up a lot of battery juice.
I can imagine.
I just use the N-Loop AA to C adapters with the N-Loop batteries, and then those last forever, man. Like those can charge thousands of times.
Absolutely. Oh, there was his fin. Yeah, I put that pipe in there so he'd have a little bit of cover, and I'm trying to get the driftwood to sink because these catfish are known to swim upside down underneath driftwood. So I made sure I got a piece with a nice slope on it that he'll be... I'll get a picture of him right now. He's out.
Oh.
There you go.
Hey, buddy. Oh, look at you.
He's got his fin out. So hopefully he settles in soon. He's going to have a nice piece of driftwood to settle up under. See, they like the dark, like most catfish. So, doing everything I can.
He's a good-looking fish, nevertheless. He's active and swimming around. Doesn't look like he has any sort of infections or parasites or anything.
Right.
He looks healthy. Just a picky eater. Mm-hmm. As many fish are. Like, you would think they would be hungry after the transition, but
Yeah.
I think it's just typical for many fish, especially wild ones, because they're so used to a diet that we have no idea what they were feeding on in the wild.
Right.
So getting them adjusted over to the food that we get from the shelves, it just takes a little time, but I don't doubt that you'll be able to get it
Yeah,
to
we'll
work.
keep trying new stuff and pulling the old stuff out and giving it our best go.
So, these racks, I'm sure someone's going to ask where you got these racks.
I made them. I drew them in AutoCAD, and we fabricated them at my steel shop. So they're made out of 2x2x1/8 angle. The 75-gallon racks were made out of 2x2x1/4 angle, and we painted them black. I put 12-gauge plates on here. For these racks, I added a second row of holes if I ever wanted to adjust it, like switch it out to something that's taller, like 55s. But it's probably going to end up staying this way.
Yeah, and these are very well done, my dude. Like, these look like something you would get somewhere professionally made for sure. Of course, I mean, that is your profession, though.
Absolutely. Miscellaneous metal fabrication, so
Yeah.
I had to take advantage of that. And the plan is to build even more. I want to make a new rack over here and do 2 tall of 55s. And I'm going to continue the trend with 75s. I'm going to need at least one more for the wolffish. And might as well make it 2 if I'm doing 1. So
I gotta ask, what does your wife think about all the fish tanks?
well, she doesn't mind it. You know, there's a lot worse I could be out doing. So, you know, she's okay with it. She catches herself in here every now and then staring too.
I mean, how couldn't you? This is impressive.
Yep. She doesn't like the puffers. Can you believe that?
She doesn't like the puffers.
She doesn't like the puffers.
How could anyone not like a puffer
I know.
fish?
Everybody loves puffers.
Yeah, puffers are the best. They're so full of personality.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, and I've seen these guys in pet stores before. I remember that one puffer fish at Pets, etc. that I met, Titan. He was like my spirit animal. He was such a goofy wiggle.
Yeah, I knew when I set up this room there was 2 things I had to get. I had to get another Jack Dempsey, and I had to get puffers.
Yeah, the only puffers I've kept are the pea puffers, and that's because those ones are genuinely freshwater.
Sure.
These ones, yeah, they can start out in fresh, but they need brackish.
And they were already in brackish.
Yep.
So I copied exactly what they had set up. I copied their salinity.
And then are these just feeder fish?
They were feeder fish that I rescued. Basically.
Gotcha. Oh, that's a big molly.
Yeah, the molly wasn't though. But my bowfin, when I first got it, it was on live only food. So I bought feeder guppies, and I eventually got them off the feeder. So I just kept them, and they've bred, and this is what's left of them. It wasn't a great line. There was a lot of sick ones. But that's what's left of them. I just let them live out their life.
Yeah, well, that's fun. Were these the ones that were from Aquarium Adventures, like the feeder guppies?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few of those myself. Believe it or not, I just found a baby guppy in my crayfish tank.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, okay, get this. My crayfish have to be the most timid crayfish in the world. My female guppy, there's just one guppy in the tank.
Sure.
Just booped the crayfish, and I swear, my crayfish noped the heck out of there so hard, I thought she
Scared
jumped
by a
straight out the
guppy.
tank. I couldn't find her for a minute or two. I'm like,
No.
where did she go? And she was hiding, but I've never seen her move so fast.
Oh, wow.
Just like I always imagine, like the Three Stooges, like whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, a little tiny guppy scared the bejesus out of a crayfish.
Speaking of jumping out, I should put this lid back on. All my lids are DIY stuff. So this is for a greenhouse. And this paneling, I believe, is also for a greenhouse.
Yeah, I see these a lot, which obviously great idea to help with evaporation or prevent stuff from getting in the tanks.
Yep, or jumping out.
That's also true. Like the amount of people that spray Febreze around their tanks is just unacceptable.
Right.
You know.
Years ago, I had an arowana that jumped out, and luckily I was there when it happened.
Oh man.
And I got him back in the tank before he dried out.
Yeah, arowana do like to jump.
Ideally, I would have glass lids for everything, but they're just much too expensive.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. And even then, Aqueon Glass lids, not a great one. Surprisingly, the PetSmart brand.
Aqueon.
Yep, and I see you got the same kind of issue.
And that one
Separation.
is a Marineland.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always right here in the center where these things fold, but I imagine your water's not as hard on calcium as mine is.
Probably not.
Because it's always the calcium that eats away at everything.
Sure.
And yeah, my Aqueon lids right at that center point always come undone because of the calcium. And for whatever reason, the PetSmart brand ones just don't have that problem.
Go figure.
Yeah, I don't know why. I like Aqueon's glass better.
Sure.
But they just fail so hard when it comes to that one particular component. You would think they would have fixed that, but...
Yeah.
And it's a non-warrantyable thing, too.
Really? No
Yeah, seriously, I contacted them about it, and they're just like, yeah, no, we don't give those out. And I'm like, what if I buy them? Yeah, we don't sell those either. I'm like, seriously?
You know what might work for you is I saw some DIY lids of glass where you buy some molding and it's a strip. It's kind of like the shape of an F, and you set a piece of glass into it and you put a molding on each end, and then you put another piece of glass on top, and you can make a sliding lid.
Oh, that's interesting.
You can look those up on YouTube. A lot of people do it for 10-gallon tanks because you can get the glass pre-cut already from Menards or Home Depot in that exact size that you need.
No, that's not a bad idea. What I was thinking is maybe I would just 3D print like a solid connection.
Yeah.
Right there. Speaking of, yeah, if you ever need anything 3D printed, just let me know. Send over to CAD files. Oh, yeah. One of the things I gave you, man, I've been selling a lot of these.
Good.
Yeah, I just got like 9 orders in one day.
You know what else I have is I have a vacuum pump and a vacuum chamber, and so we could pour silicone molds and we could start mass producing.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, you make a silicone mold and then you pour them out of resin, and you can make one every 5 minutes. Do.
Yeah, I could probably print like a mold out of TPU.
Yeah.
And it would basically be silicone at that point. Very similar.
You wouldn't even have to print it. You'd take one of the existings, we make a silicone mold, we pour it around it, and then we have that masterpiece, and we could just start pouring.
That might be a lot quicker than what I'm doing, because I am printing non-stop.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I got a lot of custom orders right now.
I see.
Yeah, a lot of people want like specific slot numbers and everything.
Okay.
So I'm just like constantly printing.
This is that sheet I was telling you about that I made dividers out of. I got this at Menards. It's like 20, 25 bucks.
That's not bad. That's nice and slick looking too.
All I did is I put a level on it, scored it with a razor, and snapped it. So that's all you need to cut it. You don't need a saw or nothing.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, these are your fish tanks in here.
Yes. We'll take you inside in just a moment to see the others.
One quick last look around here, because that's a lot of fish tanks. You still don't know how much that's going to cost you in that water bill, do you?
I don't. I'm going to find out very soon, though. We're
man.
almost there.
I'm lucky in the sense that I got well water. I only pay for sewage. I don't pay per gallon.
Right.
So it's a fixed rate. So as far as water goes, I'm good. But we'll find out. Because how many gallons is this total, real quick?
Well, this, let's see, the 33s is 198 gallons, plus 150 over here, plus 55 over there. So that's 200, that's 400 gallons, right? I think that's about 400. No. Yeah.
I'm at that point in my life where I need a calculator for everything.
Yeah.
My brain just does not compute anymore like I did. And it's like, you go down any elementary school and the kids will tell you right away. Because they're so fucking... Then, once they get to high school, it's like, 2 plus 2 is what? Oh, let me get the calculator. At that point, your brain's just fried.
Sure.
All right. Well, hey, let's go see the other tanks. All right. So now we're at the other fish tanks in the other room.
Yep. This is my 125 gallon. Bought it on Craigslist for 150 bucks with the stand. The stand's kind of going, so I made some metal supports. They may not be able to see there. So these, if you look at an angle, you can see how they got a little screw going on there.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of reinforced it with that.
Not a bad idea. I got some janky situations going on with my my 55.
Sure.
Mine just goes over the lip, just like by like half an inch, and I'm like, yeah, it's worked so far.
Right.
Pray to freaking Poseidon.
Gods, yeah.
Yeah.
So this 125, I've got glass lids. Got glass lids on it because this guy is a jumper. He gets pretty extreme when he eats, so I always keep the water level 2 inches low because all the time he'll bounce his head off the top of the tank going for the pellets.
Yeah, some fish just cannot wait for their noms.
Nope, and I do have him completely on pellets. He'll eat pellets frozen whenever I give him.
And then I see you got a goldfish.
Yep, that's his friend, the goldfish. He's been with him almost his whole life. He originally had two. The other one was silver, the same size, but during the move, I had to transition him to a 55 while I moved this tank, and he got stressed out in the 2 days he was in there, I guess, and he ripped in half the other one.
Oh no.
So that one unfortunately didn't make it, but he's been fine with his buddy Goldie there. So
It's a fish eat fish world out there, huh?
absolutely.
And did you get him just as a little like feeder fish?
Yeah, when I got him, he was like, inch and a half, 2 inches, pretty standard Comet. And, they've just been growing. They've been eating fatty food that I feed the cichlids, so.
Yeah, people don't realize how big goldfish get, and this isn't even close to how big they can get.
No, you can catch them the size of common carp.
Yep. People think, oh, I'm going to put a goldfish in a bowl. It'll only grow to the size of the bowl, right? And I'm just like, no, it's not good for a goldfish.
Right.
But you got him in a nice big tank, so at least he can swim around, So that's good. That's far better than 99% of the people out there with a goldfish.
And this bowfin is 15 inches now, so the tank is 18 inches in width, so pretty soon I'm going to have to do an upgrade here. I'm already looking at glasscages.com, trying to figure out what I can fit in my garage next to give him an upgrade.
Reef Plus makes completely custom fish tanks.
Out of acrylic?
Glass.
Oh, okay, because I don't want acrylic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all glass because they can make you any size, shape, or anything.
Sure.
So they're about like an hour from where I live.
Oh,
I was there once. They got great saltwater stuff.
No kidding.
Yeah, they got some cool stuff. But yeah, they were saying if you ever need anything custom made.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, this is the tank that had the heater burn, and it was up in that corner. There's probably not really any remnants of it because I scrubbed it real good. But now I put a titanium heater in there. I'm not messing around in this tank. It's a Higer, and it has a temperature control unit and a secondary probe.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that with this thing up here.
Yes, so that thing was definitely worth the money. It's very cool. I keep it warmer than it needs to be just to make sure that he's happy and healthy. Because, these fish live locally and the water temperature gets really down there.
Oh yeah. I've seen what goes on in the lakes, so like in the dead of winter.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised. You go to a lake where there's normally like crayfish and fish, but in the winter it is all basket clams.
Oh, really?
Yeah, tons of basket clams.
Oh, wow.
I actually had one once. I plucked one out, found one that was alive. I called him Clam Burger. He was cool for a little bit. He would just sit there licking his lips. Yeah. And he was a chill little clam, and then he dug himself underneath the sand, and I never saw him again.
Oh.
So,
Everyone needs a pet clam.
Oh yeah, clams. I wanted to make a tank. I was just going to make a theme tank. Like, what is the most boring tank I could possibly make? It's like, okay, I get a clam, maybe a starfish or something.
A moss ball.
A barnacle.
There you go.
A barnacle. Just a random barnacle. Just people walk like, what is it? What even is in this thing? I'm like, well, there's water.
Yeah, that's all it needs.
Because I'm like, what's the most ironic thing? Because people always try to make their fish tanks really pretty and stuff, and I'm like, what can I do to just be the complete opposite and just as a joke? And then you've got some more tanks over here.
Yeah. I've got a 20 and a 10 that's a colony and a backup colony, in case it were to crash, of red cherry shrimp that I got from a guy in Chicago.
I definitely know the crash feeling.
Right.
I had that happen to me once, and it was devastating, but I'm back up and recovering from it.
Hasn't happened yet, but, I figured I built this stand. It's set up for 220s. 220s will fit on it, but I had a 10 lying around, so I slapped it on there. And just running those off of local air pumps. Same as the big tank. It's got a Whisper 100 and an FX4 for the filtration. But, yep, these are red cherry shrimp. I really haven't done any culls. I just put them in there and I let them go. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I might put some in the other tanks as cleaners, and just let them do their thing.
Yeah, they also make great live food if at any point you do cull.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm sure you know that from the ghost shrimp. And I see you got some cola wood in here?
Yeah. From what I read online, they like it, and I see them running around through it, and sometimes they're inside of it,
Oh, yeah. Anything that like biofilm grows on, they just
Sure.
go nuts for, especially sponge filters, because biofilm grows on, they're real good.
Yeah, this water was much more green water before because I had a lot more hornwort in there. There was a lot more of that
Oh, dude, trust me, I know the hornwort willows. That stuff
Yeah.
grows like a weed.
Indian almond leaves. This was a huge, heavy green water tank, and it still is, but I did a big 50% water change when I took out a bunch of plant mass. You can see I still have a bunch more that I have to do.
Yeah, when hornwort dies, it's just this brown goop.
Yeah.
It's like, I think there's some creatures that will eat, maybe a snail.
Maybe. I don't
Maybe-
know. It's
maybe
pretty
a-
hard stuff. If you feel a piece, it's really rough.
Yeah, it's kind of like little aquatic needles.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe a rabbit snail might munch on some dead plant matter.
Yeah, a bigger snail like that.
It's possible.
Next water change, though, I'm going to get the last of that out.
Yeah, and then of course everyone's absolute favorite plant in the world, duckweed.
Yes, you can never get rid of it.
I got rid of mine, but that was because I didn't realize prawn eat them, and now my prawn are gone because I had that heater just pulsing electricity into my fish tank.
Sure.
That was bad, man. When I tried to grab the heater, it zapped me, and I'm like, what
Ooh,
the
not
heck?
good at all.
Yeah, I was like, no wonder my prawn are dying.
Yeah,
I
no
thought there was
kidding.
something wrong with the water.
Shock therapy.
Turns out that, yeah, no kidding, yeah. Just like, oh, not good.
So
Not good.
I keep that in there for now because they like to climb on it and pick at it. So
Oh, yeah. Like
more
plants
surface
in
area
general.
for them.
Oh, yeah. Any more surface area means more biofilm. And if you ever need more biofilm, Bacter AE
Oh, okay.
it's just basically
I've heard
feedable
of that.
biofilm.
Yeah.
I've got some. You only need a super tiny amount because that stuff is
Yeah,
potent.
you dosed it with a toothpick. I saw that video.
Yes, yes. Some people were complaining, it's like, aren't you going to activate the biofilm? And I'm like, well, the only stuff that stays on is what connects to it, and then it swishes and then dries out.
Sure.
And so it's not really a big deal, and it works. I mean, they're great for the baby shrimp because the baby shrimp won't eat pellet stuff. They're strictly on biofilm, and
Sure.
they're at a super tiny age. So, but I think the ghost shrimp, if they breed, maybe you might want to look into some Bacter AE.
Sure, yeah.
That stuff is great for little baby shrimps.
Yeah, I've got tons of food that I feed, everything from First Bites to Vibra Bites to I bought this food, but I'm really not happy with it. Every now and then I'll give them flakes, and every now and then I'll give them bloodworms. I give them a little bit of everything.
Yeah, sometimes shrimp are very picky. But yeah, definitely try that Aquatic Arts pellets because those, the mix of like all the good stuff, and they're super easy to feed. My shrimp go nuts for it. Once they
Sure.
realize it's food, they just pile on. You remember when they were over at my
Oh,
place?
absolutely. A
they
couple
were-
minutes they were all out.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like you didn't see any of them anywhere, and then suddenly there's like hundreds piling on the food.
So we'll throw some food in here and see if my guys come out for it. And in the meantime, we can feed the bowfin and the goldfish.
All right.
So,
That is some super red food.
yeah, that's the Vibra Bites. I got that as a free sample, and I've been liking it. And you know what? I actually think that's where the floating plant came from.
Oh,
What's it called again? I'm drawing a blank.
the hornwort?
No, not the hornwort. The
Duckweed.
the duckweed.
Yeah.
I never added any duckweed. I didn't put anything new in that tank for 2 months. But I started feeding that new food, and all of a sudden I had duckweed. So
Dude, like duckweed is one of those things. It's like pest snails. If you could put any new plant in there,
which I
and
did.
it accidentally touches one duckweed, it multiplies so quick.
Yeah, there was like a fragment or something. So he's hiding right now, but he won't for long once he knows what's
Yeah.
going on. Usually what happens is I have to get him in one half of the tank and then feed this half because he'll just jump the second he sees the food hit the water. So now that he's not here, what's going to clue him in is he will hear the goldfish eating. And as soon as he hears the goldfish eating, he's going to come darting out.
There's some big pellets.
Yep, those are cyclic gold large.
All right, let's see if our bowfin buddy here.
Don't make a liar out of me. There we go.
Hopefully he'll smell
How anticlimactic is that, huh?
Oh man, I swear, it's like every time you try and do something,
Yeah, on
the fish
cue.
just defy you. Oh, he's coming out.
So all the pellets, there's some directly above him, and there's some in this back left corner.
Oh, he's all right. I think he's got the scent.
Dexter.
Oh.
So that was pretty mild. Like I said, all the time he'll bump his head up and I'll scrape his head. That's why I have to keep the water level low. I fed him krill last night too, so.
Seems like a happy fish.
Mm-hmm. You notice the little barbells on the front of him?
Yeah.
Every now and then, you actually caught it on footage when we were talking earlier, but he went up and he took a breath of air. Because he'll breathe from the air or the water.
Oh, okay. So kind of the same way like betas then, huh?
Mm-hmm. Bimodal breathers. So I keep a sponge filter in there to aerate the water and his backup filtration. But a lot of the times he'll take from the air too.
He's a big chunker.
And so, yeah, a big predator like that, wild caught, I got him on pellets, which I'm pretty happy with.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised how some wild fish just adapt. Because when I had my fish with nothing but wild, or my tank with nothing but wild fish, like my bluegills and my red-eared sunfish and all that, they would just go nuts for freeze-dried bloodworms. But they were small for what they were.
Sure.
I actually caught them with a net, just like a regular fish net, just like walking on the shoreline when I was trying to just go fishing with my friend. And we just scooped them out. I'm like, oh man, it's a sunfish. Oh, it's a bluegill.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, all right, I got an empty tank. Let's do this. I ended up getting a bunch of rocks from the area and using all that as substrate.
Sure.
All the plants were from the lake too.
Nice.
So they adapted really well. It was like a new home, only the water was super clean. They got fed every day.
Sunfish are really cool. They have a nice, unique color. There's all different varieties of them.
Oh yeah,
they make great aquarium fish. You just need a good size aquarium.
Oh yeah, they get to know you too.
Mm-hmm.
They will start to recognize you.
Absolutely.
Which is great. People don't seem to realize how well fish recognize people they like.
Sure. This guy, I don't think he has the greatest vision. A lot of what he notices is all movement based, and he takes cues from what he hears, you know. But yeah, still doing great. Look how fat his tummy is now.
He's had a good nom.
Yep.
Got a wiggly spinal fin, dorsal fin.
Right. Yeah. He can swim backwards with that too, like a knife fish.
Oh wow! Oh, look at him wiggle.
It completely stabilizes his body with it.
Oh man, that wiggle.
Beautiful fish. It's like a Bashir or a Bircher, you know, but more active. Because normally they just sit on the bottom, whereas this guy will go roaming around.
Yeah, that is cool. Okay, so we're about to feed the poofer fish some bladder snails.
Andrew was kind enough to bring lunch.
Oh yes, I always am happy to bring food for puffer fish. I love little puffers.
As far as I'm aware, these puffers have never eaten snails, but they've taken everything I've given them before, so we'll see what happens.
All right. There's the snails. They're going for them. They're analytical hunters normally, so they'll probably like circle around the snails at some point.
Yeah, sure.
And look at them and then peck at them.
It's definitely different from what they had. They had snails and krill so far, and clams on a half shell.
I see that half shell.
Yeah, doesn't clamshells have calcium in it or something? I was thinking it would be good to leave it in there.
Yeah, it's basically a giant chunk of calcium. It'll take a long time to deteriorate, though.
I don't think they're associating the snails with food just yet.
I'm sure given enough time, they will look at it, swim around it, and peck at it, and be like, oh snap, that's tasty. But it may take them some time to recognize that.
Yeah.
Come on, little poof, your
I'm sure the
buddies.
snails aren't happy. All of a sudden they're in brackish.
Oh yeah, that's true. But, like, these snails are tanks, man. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they survived.
Sure.
I don't think the puffers are hungry right now.
Oh, they're hungry. They're always hungry.
That's a good point.
I wonder if I put one piece of krill in there, they'll think maybe it's feeding time or something.
Yeah, I'm going to try it.
take some of their brackish water to thaw it in. It's all frozen krill. This is my freezer of feeding.
Yeah, let's give the fish some Tostino's pizza rolls.
Ah, okay. That's actually my food. So I'll just do a little chunk here, and we'll get that thawing. Hopefully that might drive them into food mode.
Puffers do love to eat.
They do indeed.
I see you've got a plethora of vials.
Yeah, I actually bought one of those entire extra boxes of vials because I broke so many of the damn things.
Yeah, that's why these have been selling so well.
Yeah.
Everyone drops them. Like, even the people at Aquarium Adventures. I was talking to them and be like, yeah, I mean, at least you guys don't got to worry, it's on carpet. And they're like, no, we break them all the time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go over there one day with the vial holder and say, is this something you might be interested in?
Absolutely, dude. I'm sure they'd love it. They'd
Yeah.
probably want those big ones you make, you know, the 10 holder.
With the suction cups, they can move them from tank to tank.
Yeah.
Or
I assume that's how they do their water changes, is they're using the API, or water checking.
Yeah, they do use API. They sell them at the vials at $1 per vial.
Right, and that's why I bought that whole big box of them. But this is what I have left. If you need a couple extras, help yourself.
Oh, I'm good on them.
Mine got pretty dirty. This whole kit got really dirty in the move, so I picked up a new one. So I'm gonna replenish it.
If they get too dirty, white distilled vinegar. Should clean them right up. As long as you rinse them out real good, they should be good to go.
Yeah, these weren't taken very well care of, and some of them were leaking out of the bottle, and I don't know if they got mixed, so I'm just gonna start fresh with new chemicals. I'm gonna clean all the glass and save the glass.
Oh, have you seen my nitrate bottle shaker?
I have, yes, on the jigsaw.
Yes.
That's quite a piece of tech you got there.
Work smarter, not harder, right?
Absolutely.
Oh man, I got Reddit gold for that.
Really?
Yeah, someone gave me Reddit gold
Nice.
for the little jigsaw. They thought, like, some people were like, oh, they thought we were just gonna hand it off to a kid to shake it. Like, nope. I went into AutoCAD, designed it, 3D printed it, and now I don't shake bottles anymore. I jiggle them.
That was hilarious.
Rapid jigglations.
That was one of the main reasons I contacted you after I seen it. All right, let's throw some krill in there and see what happens.
Yeah, good old krill. Hey, there they go. Nom noms for everyone. Well, you guys are spoiled, aren't you? You get nice krill for food.
One guy hasn't caught on.
Well, he's in it. Oh, there he goes. Puffers are funny.
They're stealing it from each other.
Goofy pooflers.
Taking turns in the pecking order.
Quite literally.
We're just hoping they grab on one of those snails in the frenzy and realize it's actually pretty tasty.
I don't remember. How big do these spotted puffers, or is these aren't the figure eights, right?
No, those are green spotted puffers, and online it says they can get up to 8 inches.
Ooh.
But I have searched high and low, and I cannot find a picture, a video of any one of them near that size.
Yeah, I get a lot of people that comment on that one video of the Diodon hystrix, or Diodon helicanthus, I forget, the Titan the pufferfish. They were like, holy crap, I didn't know they get that big.
What kind of species was he?
He was a porcupine.
Oh, okay.
But he
saltwater.
he was as big as this entire tank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a big boy, but he was such a goofy little buddy. He recognized me by the time I started feeding him. Once in a while, I would come in with some wild crayfish that I would quarantine and feed, and he would go nuts. He would see me, and he'd start flapping his fins, and water would get everywhere. He'd get so excited. He was like a water puppy. And that's when I just fell in love with puffers. I'm like, oh my god, they have so much personality.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then any of the porcupines, they always look like they're smiling.
Yeah.
They got this big happy face.
Absolutely, yep. I was looking at one at Aquarium Adventure yesterday.
Oh, yeah, the Mabu puffer?
Oh, they have that too. And they have a baby Mabu puffer too for sale. It's $300 right now. And it took everything I had to resist buying that because I do not have a tank big enough for that guy.
I know, the one puffer I'm talking about was in a 275.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and even that was a bit small for him. So the alarm mine. It's alright. But yeah, I love puffers.
Yeah.
Ooh,
They're great.
one of them's a chunky little boy.
Yeah, as they eat, their stomach expands, and you'll come back the next morning, and it'll be flat again.
Well, they're puffing, but for reasons that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, exactly.
Big stomach.
From gorging. And you see how little krill that was? I'm still getting the hang of feeding it. And now they're full on krill and they're not going to touch the snails. But I'll leave them in there and hopefully...
I bet you, with the moment they're hungry again, if you let them just kind of instinct their way to the snails, they'll eat them.
Yeah.
Because those shells are so soft, you can squish them with with one finger on the glass.
Yeah, when
So
I was trying to
they're not
control
bad.
them in my shrimp tank, I did that.
Yeah, but even guppies will eat them with them squished.
See that one rubbing right there? On the left side of the tank? Oh, he just moved.
Yeah, no, I saw it though.
Yeah, I gotta try out some of that calcium. Alright, well...
The snails didn't go as expected for now, but I can almost guarantee it'll happen.
It'll
With a
happen,
puffer
yeah.
and a snail, puffers love any sort of thing that's meaty
Sure.
like that.
Next attempt, I'll probably starve a day, not feed a day, and then I'll throw them in, and they'll probably be desperate to nip at anything in the water.
Oh yeah, and
So-
then those snails, go to any pet store, they'll give you them for free.
Sure.
That's where I started with mine, and then I didn't realize, 'cause I was really young into the aquarium thing, and
Sure.
I thought, oh my goodness, free snails, okay. And then 1 or 2 days later, holy crap, that's a lot of egg
They
sacs.
exploded.
Yeah, there's like, oh my god, there had to have been like 100 or 200 egg sacs.
Oh, wow.
Each egg sac has like 8 or 9 eggs. Like, what have I done?
Snail beginning has begun.
Yeah, and then people say, oh, get Malaysian trumpet snails. They're great. They'll turn to sand, and it'll be great. And I'm like, okay, I got 10 of them. Now I can't get rid of them. I've got literal thousands.
They become the sand. For every grain of
Yeah.
sand, you get a trumpet snail.
It's crazy. Elephant snails, rabbit snails, whatever you want to call them, I love those because they're basically like a Malaysian trumpet snail, but bigger. They reproduce incredibly slow, and they do the same thing.
We're gonna grab some ghost shrimp here. Ready? Here's my strategy. You watching?
Yep.
Whoa!
There you go.
So some nice big chonkers in there. And we are gonna give them to our friend, the big bad wolf.
Aha.
And he is gonna go nuts.
So does this little guy have a fun name?
Not yet.
Oop. Oh, he got away.
Sometimes he gets them first try. Sometimes, they're contenders.
Ooh. Oh, he got him.
Did he? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Once he gets bigger, you'll be able to see those teeth a little better and really
Yep.
appreciate it.
The shrimp's trying to flop his way out, but
He's
no
lo-
dice.
He's long gone. He crunches them up, so I don't think they live for long in there.
Nope. But that's a good, cheap source of food right there.
Yeah, I got 50 of them for $10.
Yeah, like anyone who's looking to get into shrimp, I always recommend ghost shrimp first. Because if something goes wrong and they die, you're not out a lot of money.
Sure, yeah. Oh, he nailed that one right in the mid-water.
Yeah. Good job, little buddy.
So hopefully I'll be able to get him on pellets too and frozen krill and that. But for now, I just want to make sure, since he's new, it's his first week, that he's staying fed.
Oh yeah, you might want to try like predator pellets.
Yeah, and I got a little bit of everything here with bowfin. Oh, he's never going to get that little one. That one's just too small.
Well, there you get him.
No. Did he?
I think so. He's chewing.
Oh, wow. You see, after he finishes eating, he'll sit just like that, and he'll bob his head up and down. And what I think he's doing is he's working everything down his digestive tract into his stomach,
It's quite possible. Although they're saying, yes, very good. I do enjoy. If fish talked with an accent, what do you think this would want to say?
Definitely German. Ah, yes.
And are you going to give me the fish or something else to eat? Because I'm very hungry and I don't have any more sausages.
That shrimp is so tasty. Did he get them all? No,
There's one more.
He's right up on the blue line right now.
And where did this shrimp go? I'm very hungry and I want to eat and I don't have any more Wiener Schnitzel.
He's right in the corner. Oh yeah,
There you go.
Wolffish, man. So cool, so cool. I love it. I love that fish.
That is a neat little guy.
That was the whole reason for my order the other day. That was the main reason. And then I saw they had an Oxalis, and I was like, well, Andrew's been trying to do a little project with them. I might as well get some on the road.
Yeah,
I had to pay $55 for overnight shipping.
Yeah, oh my god,
We're starting to get into the 50, 40 degree nights, you know, so it's too cold for 2 day.
Yeah, and I know how that feels. It's always a painful experience paying that much for shipping, but
Yeah.
that's why I love being able to sell local to people, especially in the winters when they just can't get what they're looking for because
Sure.
it's just not possible. And then in the winter, because the winter season is the big season for fish buying.
Sure.
Because people are inside their houses a lot more.
Yeah, and they can appreciate it.
Yeah, but that's also the worst season to buy because there's nothing good.
Absolutely. There's not much shipping at that time. And,
Yeah.
you know, I contacted a couple stores too, and I asked, can you get me a wolffish? And they all said, no, they're not available. So when I saw this place had it, I just had to jump it and get the order in.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta go for it. Like those crayfish, those Chirax pecny zebra crayfish that I had.
Sure.
The only people I could find them from was Aquatic Arts, and they were always out of stock.
Really?
Like whenever I go to buy them, they're always out of stock. I'm like, finally got them, and they are just the most hilariously just docile fish.
Absolutely. And I hope you get those guys to breed. That would be
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I confirmed that there is a male and a female. They don't have the same like distinctive male-female characteristics as like a bunch of normal crayfish.
Sure.
But there are distinctions that you can tell. So I'm hoping to have some crayfish babies growing soon because I got them to eat pellet food, which is great. So
Yeah,
now I
absolutely.
know that they'll eat. And I also let the algae purposely grow. That's another thing. People think, oh, if you've got algae in your tank, it's dirty. No. Algae on a tank is very natural, and it's a good source of food for so many things.
Absolutely.
Especially with my crayfish, I purposely let the tank get real gummed up with algae and then use my scraper. I'll scrape it all off, and they'll eat all that algae.
And we were talking about the Oxalis. It's hard to get them to eat anything but algae.
Yeah, they're almost strictly algae, which...
So I'm actually hoping you're going to take more than 5 because, as you can see, I don't have much algae going on here.
It's quite possible.
So whatever you could take, you're welcome to have out of those 10. The rest I'm going to probably put in a 55, and they can graze with the plecos on the algae.
Gotcha. Well, I do have my cake tank all set up. There's no light on it, but honestly, I think I'm probably going to be getting the light for it soon.
Sure.
So once I get the light on the cake tank, I mean, I could definitely take some today for sure.
All right.
Because the cake tank is all set up. I got new thermometers and everything in them now, so I know the temperature is. I just did a fresh water change a few days ago.
Yeah, I kind of followed your advice there, and I got an instant read too. So now I could take this and I could pop it in each one, give it a couple seconds.
Oh yeah, yeah.
See what they're sitting at. Because I don't want to buy 18 thermometers, you know.
Yeah. I went that route just because it's so much easier for me.
Yeah.
And they're like $2 each.
Yeah, those ones. This I got locally
Yeah, that's gonna be way more expensive.
Yeah.
If you're willing to wait the time to get it
Shipping
from
from
China,
China, yeah.
then yeah, they're worth it at $2. It's not bad because then you just look around. Okay, all these ones are this and this and this, and like,
Yeah.
okay, that's not bad.
I'm probably gonna have to do that, but for now I got this a quick solution.
Oh yeah, I mean those probe ones are great. Most of the time they're pretty spot on. They're
Sure.
within a degree or two Fahrenheit of accuracy. So
I'm thinking we feed these guys next. What do you think?
yeah, why not? Let's see the Jack Dempsey and the Yo-Yo.
Let's do bloodworms, huh?
All right.
I did pellets yesterday, and I like to keep it varied as much as I can. And whenever I'm thawing frozen food, I always take the water from the tank I'm feeding. Like you saw, I did the puffers in brackish water. I thawed the krill in their brackish water.
Well, that's a good idea.
And that way there's no cross-contamination if you've got some bad juju going on in one of your tanks.
Yeah, that can happen. That's why I like having separate everythings.
And
Some people will run a single sump for some fish tanks and for multiples. I'm like, that seems like a bad idea.
I always buy Hikari food whenever I can.
Hikari is good stuff. Their algae wafers are phenomenal
Yup.
for any sort of pleco.
I buy their cichlid pellets. That's the main diet for my bowfin. And I buy their bloodworms and their krill for all the other guys. So
I keep forgetting if it's Hikari or Hickory.
I think it's hickory, but nobody's ever.
Yeah, no one's corrected me
announced
on it.
Yeah,
I'm like, is it
correct.
hickory? As in like hickory smoked sausage? Or is it hickory?
That would be pretty good. Hickory smoked bloodworms. So we get these guys done, and you'll see as soon as I put it in there, the jacks will come running out. They'll
Oh
gorge.
yeah, I mean you're spoiling these fish for sure.
Absolutely.
Good quality. Ooh, that's a ton.
Yep. These guys eat it all up. They got big bellies.
Wow, I didn't realize that many were in a single cube.
It's quite a bit.
Man, they just compact them in there, don't they?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You condense it, you get more value for that, you know? So we're going to drop this in now.
Oh, that's beautiful. Look how red they are. I wonder if I could breed bloodworms.
I'm not too sure of their life cycle, but see, the cichlids are going nuts. See, they're not so shy now that there's food in the water.
Hey, buddies. The quickest way to a fish's heart is through its stomach, right?
Absolutely.
I
Not
got
unlike
some-
me.
I think most men are like that. Oh man, look at them go.
And the yo-yo loach is awesome because he gets down in the gravel and cleans a lot of the detritus. You'll see him when you're not feeding. He'll dig his head and he'll be sticking out of the gravel.
Where'd you go, Jack Dempseys? There you are. Are you playing peekaboo? I see you. Hi, buddy.
They are all about the bloodworms.
It is such a great food. I only have the freeze-dried stuff.
You gotta get some of the frozen stuff.
Yeah. The San Francisco Bay freeze-dried, such a great value.
Sure. Yeah, but I think, I don't know anything scientifically one way or the other, but I think you get more of the nutrients when it's frozen
Oh
as
yeah,
opposed to dried
for
out.
sure. I think I completely agree with that notion. When you freeze anything, for whatever the case may be, whether you boil it first and some of the nutrients comes out like that, or whether you freeze it, something about it, I don't know. It's just freeze drying is just a
Yeah, you take
completely
all the
different
moisture
process.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Lasts longer, but I imagine some nutrition's taken out from that. And I see the ghost shrimp are going pretty ham on the cucumber. that you got.
Yeah, they're liking it, and I heard that like red cherries and
Oh,
all
yeah.
the neocardinias
Absolutely.
love it.
Oh, cherries also love banana.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I wouldn't give them too much though because it's a sugary thing,
Sure.
and it might follow the water if it's in there too long. But a tiny piece of banana. They go bananas for bananas.
I can't believe we haven't seen the plecos once. They are extremely well hidden.
Yeah, well, once they get bigger,
Yeah, they won't be able to hide so easily.
they're tiny little pleco buddies. They're probably somewhere inside of this rock. Oh, wait, I saw it.
Did you?
I think I did. Either that or it was the yo-yo loach again.
Yeah, they're probably somewhere in that holy rock or on the back side of this one that we can't get a good view of.
It's quite possible. Of course, you got duckweed everywhere.
Yep.
Everyone's favorite plant.
It doesn't grow too well in here. These lights are kind of dinky, but that's fine. This tank had a hornwort in it too because the guppies were originally in here and I wanted some space for the babies to get away to so
Yeah.
they didn't get eaten. So after I moved them out, I got rid of the hornwort. It's just too messy.
Yeah, when they start to die and needle off like a Christmas tree, then it becomes a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah, big time.